Alright, a little update here on the Derp ATV project. Still waiting on machine parts, so I'm kind of knocking some cab stuff out. The majority of the aluminum roofing is pretty much done. Really, the only thing that's preventing me from actually sealing it up and riveting it is I got some finish work to do on the front end, but you'll see that in a later date. Really, the only tube work left is pretty much the center fender partitions. I just got to fully weld those up and grind them away. Get that all done. So that'll act as where the air intake will be and the cooling packs, just like on a real shirt. Yeah, a lot of this, like the windscreen here, it just takes time, you know, to put all the mechanisms together. Especially since this whole cab here, this is just made up as I'm going along, so there's no engineering forethought or anything put into it. So there were some mistakes made along the way. For example, in that left side window there, that's actually the second one I built. The one's in the scrap pile, so it's just how it goes when you don't have a blueprints or anything. Tailgate, really the only thing I got to change there is I got to add some more steel on the mount, because you can see how I'm bouncing on it and it's flexing pretty good. I don't want to bend those. Yeah, just a lot of small knick-knack stuff that takes time. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for flooring on the tailgate. I'm thinking like high-density polyethylene or something, kind of like that stuff, because it'll act as a sealing surface and it'll be nice and slippery. For better or for worse, I might have to put some grip tape on it. I don't know. And I gotta add the inside handle too, but I'll mount that on the Lexan when I get that on there. The nice thing is with the Sherp ATV, it's very voluminous. It's a very big cab, so it'll pretty much act as its own shop during the wintertime. If I can get this weatherproofed before that time. If I can get the Chinese Webasto heater installed, running on diesel, it'll be pretty much its own shop. It's just like building a ship. You don't do all the electrical and plumbing work while it's in dry dock. You do that when it's floating. Same thing will go with this. Moving to the front, let's just work our way up here. So yeah, if you didn't see back there, that's pretty much where the radiator would be mounted. That's just a mock-up. It's just I think it's a Nissan radiator right there. Excuse me. Side windows, like I was saying, these were kind of a pain in the ass just to make them fit, but they are working now. These are flip-out windows like the prototype shirt. The issues they had with these is if you're not conscientious of what you're doing, especially when you're in the woods, these things will get ripped off by a tree limb or something. So obviously when you're in the woods or the bush, you got to flip them down, unlike the sliders. The sliders, I had them quoted out. Now bear in mind this is just for two of them. They wanted $370 a piece, and that was a pretty competitive quote too. So yeah, it just ends up being cheaper just to make your own at the end of the day. The hatch, it's just a simple deal. I tried to find catalog quarter turns to kind of match with my system that I got going on, but I wasn't able to. So I kind of cobbled up my own. They're pretty crude, but I think if once I put a little plastic dipped handle, some better hardware, I think it'll end up looking pretty good. Paint it up, you know, grinder and paint. Make me the welder I ain't. Pretty happy how that turned out. We'll actually flip it up and you guys can see the top side here. Hold on, this seat is now mounted right. Let's leave that right there. So we flip that open. Climb up here. You can kind of see some of the paneling I got pre-made. Ready to get mounted up. It's just a case of making sure all this stuff is finalized, because obviously once you put that sealant on there, you're pretty much dedicated without doing a lot of pulling and rework, pulling the panel off. Especially drilling out rivets. That's going to be annoying. Same thing goes with this. This is just, I had some mock-up rivets put on here. Kind of see it down there. So, yep. This should be a nice weather tight. I just got to pretty much seal this section off with some polyurethane sealant. Should be ready to go. So, I mean, for how crude it is, it works pretty decent there. Flip out windscreen, just like on the Sherp. I got some, I was just being resourceful here. It has some rebar handles welded on. Really the only thing left I need to do on this, besides of course change the hardware out, because this is where the bulb seal will go, is mounting the windshield wiper plates. I just got to weld those on and then get them mounted up. I got 2 UTV windshield wipers that I'm thinking of putting here, and they'll just be, they're 90-degree ones, so if I can synchronize them, that'll be perfect. But it's the same flip out concept as the Sherp. So, a lot of small knick-knack stuff. As you can tell, I beefed up the hinges on the front end just because I'm going to be using this as a step, and then the last hinges, they weren't beefy enough. They flexed quite a bit. So, yeah. Slowly coming along. It's a lot of this small stuff that just takes time. And I knew when I was getting into this cab was going to be probably the hardest part. I'm pretty good at building chassis and powertrains, but when it comes to like the small trim and cab work, oof, it can get time consuming. But yep. Yeah, so if you guys have any recommendations for flooring, like on the tailgate, like I was saying, I was thinking definitely not quarter aluminum diamond plate. It's a little too rich for my blood. I was just thinking some high density polyethylene, kind of like that. Of course, it'd be a single piece, but yeah. I was thinking about that melamine stuff, but the durability is in question. You know, the plastic coated, that IKEA stuff. IKEA furniture wood with the plastic coating on it, but I don't think the durability would be up to par what I need. So yeah, slowly gaining. Till next time.